Guys, we better get going here because every 60 seconds that goes by on our farm, a minute passes, and we got a lot to do. Welcome back, guys. It is wet around here. Lake's sunny, even though we got rock, it's filling with water. In the last 5 days, it has rained 4 times, I think. Something like that. And we've gotten over 2 inches, and so we're pretty saturated here. We wanted to be hauling manure, but it's too wet to get in the pens and it's too wet to spread it. At the end of this video, we got something coming here that'll hopefully help us out a lot. Dad and I were talking about an oiler. We were talking about oilers today, and then a fella nearby that sells cattle oilers actually commented on on the video that came out today, and he said, "Hey, we'd like to set you up with a demo." And Dad and I were literally talking about it 20 seconds before I read that comment. And so hopped on, said, yeah, let's do that. Let's get that done. Because if you've been watching the channel, we have had tons of fly issues and bad eyes. 2 videos back, we sprayed the cattle, and that night a rain came out of nowhere, washed that stuff off. Next day, flies are back on them. And so right now we're going to spray a few groups of cattle really quick. And later today we're going to get set up with an oiler, and we're going to see how that works and be able to compare that in one pasture and see how it controls the flies and see if it does a good job. Earlier today, Dad and I changed oil on the gator. Weren't doing too much. We went to 2 pastures, gave them mineral, gave a couple darts to a few cattle that had bad eyes. And I'm sure some of you are getting sick of the videos where we're spraying cattle. Well, this is probably going to be the last one where we're doing it. Maybe not, but hopefully. We've been using permethrin in the tank. There is actually a little bit of resistance with permethrin when it comes to flies. Lately, we've been kind of disappointed with how the spray's doing. Today, we're going to add in a little bit of diesel fuel, which may sound weird, but people have been using diesel fuel to control flies for a long time. And you might be worried, well, aren't you going to be, I mean, if you're putting diesel fuel in there and you're spraying it, isn't it like, you know, getting in the grass and, you know, diesel fuel's everywhere? And well, I can assure you it'll be nothing like BP did in the Gulf of Mexico a few years back. We're going to be putting in just a tiny bit of diesel fuel, and it's going to help control those flies. While that water tank's filling, talk about the 544 quick. She's a mean machine, and she could be yours. We're going to be giving that away at 100,000 subscribers. All you got to do is subscribe to enter, and it's coming quick. We're around 80,000. Won't be long, and we'll be driving possibly to your house and dropping off a 544 International tractor. Now, wouldn't that be fun?
Can I tell my arm wrestling story?
Quick.
Okay, so nephew Michael got married. He played college football. There was 8 or 10 of his college buddies. I'm going as fast as I can. 8 or 10 of his college buddies there, and we were doing the little bar hop thing after the...
You're at a wedding or something?
Wedding, yeah. And they started telling a story about this guy. I won't give his name. Keep him out of the, you know, people knowing who he was. But anyway, so this Jesse Lindbergh, he was telling a story about how they go to bars and he arm wrestles for money, and then they drink free all night. And they said he'd never been beat and everything, and I had a couple drinks in me, and I said, I'll take you on. All these college football players, they're like, yeah, let's get it on. And we get this table up there, and I get my arm up there, and I said, oh, dang. I forgot that I fell out of the back of the pickup with the four-wheeler, and I hit my elbow on the concrete. Would it be okay if we arm wrestle left-handed instead? He's a nice guy. I'm an old guy. He says, sure, we can do that. We get up there, and old Brian goes, boom, beat Jesse. You know what the lesson is there? Make sure that the guy you're arm wrestling isn't left-handed.
There you go.
I'm so proud of myself.
Might have been a little overkill. I pull up, Dad says we might have got a bit much in there. We usually go for 70, or for 60, and we got 80 in there.
Oh, you left.
And
I was doing something, so...
It's my fault.
Your jug's here.
My jug? Oh, yes. Yes.
Wow.
I was about to...
Jump my...
Well, you're holding that jug, and I'm just like, my jug, like you're making me put it away, but.
Trying to save you steps.
Yep.
I'm not evil all the time.
Okay. You know what the flies are saying?
My gird.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh.
Black rubber glove on. I feel like I'm. What's the name of the guy that pulls the lever to chop the people's or to drop them with the?
The henchman?
Is it the henchman?
One word.
No. You know what the? What's it called? I know it's getting hot, but I really want to think of the name of the person. When he pulls the lever and people drop with the noose.
Oh, the hangman?
Hangman? A hangman? I don't know. Anyway, that's me, except it's flies.
The creme de la creme? King of Slappy? Slap monkey? Do you want me to go ahead with the side-by-side and get the combination opener?
Yeah, probably. I don't know the combination. Dad's taking off. He's going to my heifers so he can open that padlock because I haven't figured out how to do it yet. And I just remember this tractor is low on fuel, so I'm gonna have to fill that up quick, and he's gonna be sitting there thinking, what the heck's taking him so long? So that ain't good. It's a little hot out today. Kind of an under boob sweat type of day.
It's all in a day of rock and roll.
I gotta remind Dad before we go to the faraway pastures, I don't think we have a stretcher in here, which at some of those we need one, so we're gonna have to stop back at home. At our South Farm pasture, and here's that new fence we put in a couple videos ago, like 3 videos ago. You know what they're thinking? Ermagerd, hurlets. It seems like they're pretty good. They were decent to start with, but
I wish I got the calves better.
yeah, the calves kept running.
They taste great and promote.
Try to swing by the calves one more time and
Okay.
then we're out of here.
Calves weren't having none of it. They just kept running. Dad's gonna try to hit them one more time. Ugh. There's some boogers on here, and I touched it. Is it 207? Yeah, sure is. How are you, girl? Would you like some pellets? Or my good pellets? They got a lot of flies on them. Just around your eye. You can see how important this fly stuff is. Hopefully this will give them a bunch of relief. Hey, fella, that's for the whole herd. Excuse me. And of course the calves are in the back. I made a mistake. We're headed to the faraway pasture, and if they're by one of the gates, we need a stretcher. It's impossible to open without one. And I forgot. And we still don't have a stretcher, so hopefully they're at the other one and they bail me out. Otherwise, Dad won't be a happy camper. And he certainly won't be a happy farmer. What the heck was that? That cow makes a weird noise. Oh! Hey, Bull, you got pooped on. Ugh. And we haven't talked about crops much lately, so on the way to the next group of cattle, we'll stop in here and look at some corn, maybe grab some corn. Things are looking good. We're thinking with all this rain we've had, and we've had good weather, good heat, and our corn pollinated really well, basically every kernel. Sometimes when you get really hot weather during pollination, it turns out bad. I'm gonna pull off an ear, bring it to Dad. When pulling off an ear and bringing it to your father or mother, as a good son, what you gotta do is find one that's out on end row. It gets extra sun and extra feed, and it's a nice, big, long, juicy ear. It's not gonna tell them much about the whole crop, but it's gonna make them feel good. So we're gonna bring that home for Dad and show him that one. Something about that does not look right. Sure has had probably the most eye trouble. We've darted a lot of calves and cows out here, and we're not really sure why, but there's just been a lot of fly pressure out here. And this is where we're gonna bring that cattle oiler. Once the oiler gets here, I'm not sure if we're gonna set it on the concrete. That would be nice, you know, because then they're not tearing up grass wherever it's sitting. Be here in about an hour, and so we'll be back here pretty quickly. We just got one more group of cattle to do. I just remembered, next gate we need a stretcher. Uh-oh. Home is right there, so I'll be like 200 feet away from a stretcher. I don't have a stretcher. No. Yeah. So I'll go grab one quick, I guess.
See if we can get it.
If we get this right here, it's gonna be a He-Man moment. I think I can get it. I see one, that darn thistle. Oh yeah. Don't be making seed in my pastures. What, you think I can get it?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe. I guess it wasn't too bad. Alright, so what we got here is a Lewis cattle oiler. Steve just dropped it off, a great guy. Gave us a few brewskis. He's a little camera shy, so he's taking off here. This thing is magnificent. It's got its own pump on there, so when the cattle move on it, we'll show you right here. They move that, it triggers the pump, moving this upside down, or not upside down, but up and down. It pumps. This is a reservoir right here. And so it just continuously puts more product in there. You got a nice hooded mineral feeder. Earlier when we were dumping mineral in our tub, or our mineral feeders over there, the rubber flap's getting bad, and so it's kind of open all the time and rain gets right in. But this, you can see, it's kind of sloped like that, and so it'll keep rain off a little bit better. Steve is from Wagner Cattle Oiler Sales and Service. If you're into the South Dakota area and you're interested in this, you can check them out at 605-505-0050. A lot of fives in there. Hopefully this helps keep the flies off for cattle a little bit. He said he has very little fly issues. He's got 7 of these throughout his pastures and feedlots. His story is he bought one at a farm auction. He loved it so much he bought some more, and then he became a dealer for him because he just believed in the product. And so we're super excited to have this out here. And this is our pasture. Don't let my beer get in the way. This is our pasture with the most fly issues and eye issues. So that's why we put it out here. You can see it's starting to run down. Steve was pumping it a bit. You know how in our sprayer earlier, our mister, we put diesel in there and we were talking about that? This is a mix of basically all diesel and just the fly killer in there to mix in with it. And so there's no water in it at all. And it holds 7 gallons of that mixture in the center there. From Wagner Cattle Oiler Sales, nice guy, just brought it out. So I had a video come out earlier today. He messaged, said, hey, you want to try one of these? And he came right out. He's just 40 miles away from me. And there she sits, and that is a beautiful product. And to top it off, he brought us beers. What a guy. We're gonna head home. We're gonna cook some steaks, some corn on the cob, and it's gonna be a good night. I'm just doing the video. You need sweet corn? I don't know yet. I haven't talked to Mom. So thanks for hanging out today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
If that was a country singer, that'd be Girth Brooks.
Nice.
Yeah.